And I think there is a shift in ministry and what ministry means, to away from doing it for the person to helping people to be able to engage it for themselves. And I think all the language people use may be slightly different, different variations of terms in it all, but really it is that sense of intimacy, connection that is enabling people. And it's a shift in moving self out of the way, you know, and letting people see Christ within and that presence, rather than focusing on what we can do and what we're going to say and how we're going to direct. And I think people are becoming more intimate, are becoming less egotistical, because they're realizing it's not about me, it's about the person I'm engaging, and it's about connecting them to the love of the Father and the healing love that God would want to bring. And I love that. And I think a lot of ministries are all about now helping person to hear what God is saying rather than telling them what God is saying. I think they have a knowledge of God which is intimate and firsthand, you know, and they're carrying that sense of real deep love, you know. And you know, and I love those guys, and Baxter Kruger and others. They carry a frequency that I resonate with. We may come from different backgrounds and have different perspectives on a lot of things, but when you really connect to them, you feel that connection. You know that you're really talking the same language. You may be using different words, but you're really talking the same language. And you know, and I love that, because that's what is so important, that people are coming from all sorts of different streams to become one river, you know. And then it all merges, you know, and then the differences within the streams disappear, because actually what really matters is that relationship with the intimacy with God himself, with the Father, with that Trinitarian perspective. Obviously Baxter Kruger focuses on the Trinitarian perspective, and you know, Brad Jersak is sort of connected to an Orthodox position. But actually, when you look at what the Orthodox Church believes, it's so much more connected to restoration than the Evangelical Church, and they're much less dependent on fixed, rigid rules, and it's much more fluid and flexible. And I think all of these things are beginning to draw people to, you know, follow that pursuit of where God is going, you know, and they're forerunners in their streams, you know, and people are beginning to hear them and feel them and sense them and follow them, you know. And but it's great because they're always pointing people to Jesus. You know, it's a hallmark really of what God is doing when you see people pointing people to Jesus rather than pointing them to their own ministry or their own stuff.